Folks, welcome to Everything Pro Wrestling. Everything Pro Wrestling is a show by the fans, for the fans. And I am your host, Conrad Cushman, and this episode is my debut on Brainbuster Podcast. And it has been an unbelievable ride. I've been seeing people make unbelievable content all week for Brainbuster, so shout out to the Brainbuster crew. Also, I have to give a shout out to my tag team partner on Saturdays, Mags and Badlands. You guys are the best. I look forward to working with you guys. Tremendous. If you guys are in here, make sure that you subscribe to Brainbuster Radio. We have YouTube. We have different podcasts everywhere. Apple Podcasts, iTunes, Google Podcasts, Spotify. We're on Podbean. Make sure you download Brainbuster Radio if you want to hear my content every Saturday. With all that being said, guys, today we are here to get a live review. The show literally just ended. I have everybody in the chat talking about the show right now. We are here to review NXT Takeover New York. Unbelievable show, guys. Unfreaking believable. Let's see who we got in the live chat first and foremost. Let's give some shout outs here. The J3X Show, what is going on? B-Boy Skyline, appreciate you, good sir. Jesus DeLeon, my man Y2K2400, what is happening? Will I be talking about the pre-show? We could talk about it real quick. Kyron, what is happening, my dude? What is happening? Oh, we'll talk about that emotion. Kyron is talking about the main event and the emotion put into that. The J3X Show. Oh, man. You guys have good comments. Austin Stroop coming in here. Thank you. Thank you all for joining me. We'll write that in the live chat. That's right. We're interactive here on Everything Pro Wrestling. Let's talk about this show. This is tremendous, guys. Just tremendous. I'm loving the feedback. I'm loving the wrestling community for WrestleMania weekend. People are hyped. This is good stuff. If you guys can't see it, I am definitely rocking the Brainbuster Radio t-shirt. So, you know, hashtag buy the merch. On the back of the shirt, as you guys can see right up above, is the Brainbuster with Kevin Steen receiving it from El Generico. Good stuff, man. Great length, great matches. Shock finish, a match of the year candidate. Austin Stroop, I couldn't have said it better, my friend. Let's get into this show, man. So we start off the night with a match for the NXT Tag Team titles. We had on one side the War Raiders, and they were getting ready to take on the team of Aleister Black and Ricochet, who have recently been promoted to the main roster but still spending time in NXT. What a match this was. War Raiders, first of all, come out with a very cool entrance. They come out with a Viking-like entrance. We have guys who are playing drums with their shield. Really cool. I don't know. I just like the headgear they come out with. It works for them. And I think they're really starting to hit their stride to where people know who the War Raiders are and what they do. Especially if you didn't see their work in Ring of Honor, these guys are tremendous. I can't believe at their size some of the things they can do. Dude, oh man. That tag match was one I was the least excited for, and they still killed it. Austin, you are not lying, my friend. So, during this time, Black and Ricochet come out. The fans are hyped for this show. The New York City crowd was live. And shout out to the members of Brainbuster Radio who are in New York City for WrestleMania weekend. JPQ and Queen. I know Queen was out there. She was actually at the show. She was coming in during this match when it first was starting. So she had some tremendous shots and showed us like how the actual house was reacting. Goodness gracious. Oh, man, dude. There's so much amazing stuff in this that my pen could not write it down fast enough, guys. It really couldn't. This is just tremendous and amazing. we get to the finish of this match. I can't even tell you. Go back and watch this. If you want to see what the War Raiders are all about and the amazement of Aleister Black and Ricochet, and if you want to see the minute differences of them on NXT versus them on the main roster, people singing their theme songs, people actually like really invested in these characters, it's completely different to me. I don't know. I pick up those little things. I don't know how you guys feel about it, but freaking amazing. And if you guys don't know, this is also like being simulcast basically on YouTube as well. So make sure you guys leave a like on the video. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe. Leave your thoughts on the show while we're talking about it in the chat box, and I will interact with you. So we get to the end. We have Aleister Black getting into an exchange of strikes with Rowe. Rowe ends up getting hit with a black mass, and by that time, Aleister Black tags in Ricochet. Ricochet hits probably one of the most beautiful shooting star presses I've seen in a long time. He gets the pinfall, and I thought it was over. 1, 2, and Hansen pushes himself in Black right into the pinfall to break up the count. And you're just like, oh man, what is happening here? So then afterwards, Ricochet goes for a 630. For the first time ever, I saw Ricochet miss a 630, and it looked like his body wanted to explode after the impact of him hitting the mat. I believe Mauro Ranallo was the one who said it was like him hitting like bottom of a pool. I thought Ricochet was hurt the way he screamed after that. I don't know if that was just tremendous selling or if he was being really tough and fighting it. Connor, what's happened? I see you in here now as well, brother. Good to see you guys. Dude, unbelievable. So afterwards, he misses the 630. Aleister Black goes for his patented signature move, the flip over to the moonsault to the outside. It is ducked, and he gets taken out. And that leaves only one thing left to have happen. The War Raiders hit the fallout on Ricochet. He lands on his neck, and they both pin him. 1, 2, 3. The War Raiders are still your NXT Tag Team Champions, folks. Dude, really good match. I think this was one of the underestimated matches that really delivered. I was impressed with this one. Looking back at it, we saw some respect after the match. You could tell afterwards that this is Ricochet and Aleister Black's swan song. They are probably done with NXT. They're going up to the main roster. They have a tag team title match in a 4-way on Sunday for the SmackDown Live tag team titles. Could they capture those belts? Who knows? We'll have to wait and see what happens on Sunday. I heard he got injured on that spot, Jesus De Leon says. If you guys find out anything, any breaking news, please put it in here so that way I can know, because that just looked brutal for Ricochet. There were a lot of trainers out there, but afterwards it looked like he was fine because there was some respect paid afterwards. The War Raiders got up, laid out the tag belts, and then bowed. Literally bowed to Ricochet and Aleister Black. And much deserving so. These guys were two big pieces of this brand, and they were just huge to it. Excellent work by them. They deserve the respect, and Ricochet and Aleister Black bowed back to them. So good feel-good moment for both teams. It'll be interesting to see what happens with them on the main roster. I have a huge fear when people get called up to the main roster that they're not going to be handled properly. I hope that Vince McMahon and the talent surrounding Vince sees that these guys are something special. Please don't ruin them, because they were some of my favorites in NXT. Despite the flashy moves and everything else, these guys are tremendous. I give it an overall grade of an A-, and my rubric and the scale for all of this is going to be in the description when you guys check it out. So A- for the grade for this match. Let's talk about match number 2 now. We are talking about a match for the NXT North American Championship. The Velveteen Dream versus Matt Riddle. Matt Riddle comes out. Matt Riddle is rocking the Yankee pinstripes, one of my favorite baseball teams. So shout out to Matt Riddle for that. Really cool, typical bro. And I felt like this match, Matt Riddle was going to finally showcase, hey, you guys have only seen some of what I can do. Let me show you what I really can do. So afterwards, Matt Riddle makes his entrance. We all wait for the Velveteen Dream. The man, the Velveteen Dream, came out like the Statue of Liberty and being carried on a platform. He looked like Macho Man Randy Savage, like the pomp, the circumstance. The Velveteen Dream is a freaking star. And if you don't believe me, watch his matches and his entrances. The guy feels like a big deal from the beginning. Oh, man. Kyron said he takes back what he said about Riddle on Wednesday. We did a show together, so good, Kyron. I'm glad to hear that. J3X Show says, bro. I like it. This was a split crowd for both of these guys instantly. We had great reactions for both. So Matt Riddle's getting his chance. The Velveteen Dream is getting his chance. I'm torn in between because I actually like both guys. I think they're tremendous. And the Velveteen Dream is out there and he is all charisma. This guy is really good. And this match shows it. We saw Matt Riddle use ankle locks in this one, several submissions, and he showed his power and his wrestling game throughout. He just really showed that he can do a lot of different things, and he's more than just the UFC guy who came into WWE who just does elbow strikes and all this stuff. Matt Riddle can wrestle, guys. He really is the real deal, and I think that we're going to eventually see more matches out of him to where he keeps improving. And I love what I saw out of Matt Riddle for this match. And Velveteen Dream, let's not undermine him either. The Velveteen Dream showed that he is a main event player in the making. And I think that this guy is going to be running NXT eventually. So, as we talk about this match... hold on here. We got a comment. J3X Show says, wasn't high on Riddle. Knew he had personality, but wasn't sure about him. After that match, I changed my opinion. He's going to be a star. I called it, man. I'm telling you, a lot of people finally are going to see who Matt Riddle actually is in that ring. So, Matt Riddle gets in there, and they're doing some great stuff. Matt Riddle, at one point, German suplex the Velveteen Dream from the apron, from the middle rope. The dude's talons, like his toes look like talons curled over that middle rope, and he German suplexed, and that spot looked super dangerous, but it was also super cool. I would say don't do that spot anymore, but it looked really cool when they did it. I hope nobody got hurt on that, but super, super good. And Y2K is even agreeing. I'm just looking at the chat, and he's saying Matt Riddle surprised him in this match as well. Bro, I'm telling you guys, Matt Riddle's the real deal. So afterwards, we see the Velveteen Dream. He starts hulking up like Hulk Hogan, and it's just fitting that Hogan said he wasn't a star, and the Velveteen Dream rocks his gear, mocks him a little bit, takes some of the stuff he learned from him. And I don't know if it's tribute or like, hey, you should have realized that I was a star when I did Tough Enough. But he gives him the big boot, body slam. The Velveteen Dream had the crowd in the palm of his hand when he was on offense. And it wasn't for long. Matt Riddle really dominated this contest, in my opinion. But from the top rope, he goes for the Purple Rainmaker, which is stopped, and he gets put in a submission hold, which transitions into the Bro Mission. And then as the Bro Mission is applied, Velveteen Dream finds a way to sneak out of it and rolls through into a pinfall, and it's 1, 2, 3. Shades of WrestleMania 8, the Velveteen Dream figures out a way to defeat the Ultimate Bro, Matt Riddle. I called this one as well on the prediction show. I had the Velveteen Dream winning this one. Awesome contest. The Dream wins, and at the end of the match, they both have their fist out. Matt Riddle basically puts his fist out for Velveteen Dream to bump. Velveteen Dream showed the love. He bumped it back. So we have 2 matches now back-to-back that show, hey, I respect you. And I give this an overall grade of an A- as well. I thought this was just as good as the tag match. There was a lot of drama in here, and they did very well. So 2 future stars in the making. I could see them main eventing within the next year an NXT Takeover. Whether it's these guys or separately or however they do it, these guys are your future of the company. Next, we get Kushida being welcomed to the NXT world. We see a video of him signing from earlier in the day with Triple H there, and he signs his NXT contract. And then we see Kushida in the crowd. Really good to see Kushida. It's a long time coming. I really hope that he gets to be a big superstar here and he's not misused like some of the other people who got called up to the main roster. An excellent talent, a legend in New Japan Pro Wrestling. If you aren't familiar with his work, you should be. And don't forget, guys, tomorrow, the G1 Supercard. I will have a YouTube review up of that, so make sure you are subscribed to the channel. And also, if you're still just coming in here, I see some people jumping in. Make sure you leave a like on the video, guys. Let's talk about the WWE UK Championship match. This is match number 3 of 5. Let me say this. Does it feel weird to anyone else but me that we call it the WWE UK Championship? Like, I feel like it should be the NXT UK Championship because that's the main belt on the NXT show. Just me, I don't know. I always write WWE like / NXT with it. Just a weird thing. Anywho, we have the nearly 2-year title reign of Pete Dunne at 685 days on the line here. I was not the biggest believer in the Pete Dunne title reign until Y2K2400 in the chat made me believe that Pete Dunne was that guy, and he started defending the belt a little bit more. At first, I love Pete Dunne. Like, since day one, I knew who he was before he was even in the first UK tournament, but I felt like Pete Dunne wasn't defending the title consistently enough, and then Y2K brought all the stats up for me, made me see that he has been defending this title. We just haven't seen all of them on television. So, Pete Dunne, what a title reign this has been. Can he pull it off against Walter? Let's find out. Pete Dunne starts off this match, and he is using his joint manipulation, but Walter is so strong. This dude is a brute, and I should say it like Brian Williams did on the preview show. It's Walter. He is a beast. Walter is brutal with the chops. If you've never seen Walter chop anybody, that's exactly what it sounds like. It is brutal every single time. And he hits a lot of them in this match. At one point, Pete Dunne hit a Liger bomb on Walter. Much respect to Pete Dunne for doing that. That takes some real strength. Pete Dunne is one of the greatest, in my opinion, right now in wrestling. He hit that Liger bomb with perfect execution, and I was surprised he did it on Walter because he's a big dude compared to Pete Dunne. Now, Walter surprised me, though, with his athleticism, when he hit a shotgun drop kick to Pete Dunne, and then he power bombs him, which is his finish that we've seen on NXT UK. And he power bombs him and puts all 300 pounds of his body weight on him, and Pete Dunne was still able to kick out for a near fall. Just unbelievable. This match had so many different things in it. It felt like it went quite some time, maybe a little bit too long, but like I said, I feel like maybe the UK fans appreciate those longer matches a little bit more than we do, and there's a little bit of a different style contrast to the UK style matches. So watching that, there was an avalanche sleeper suplex spot, another near fall on Pete Dunne. Pete Dunne hit the bitter end, and at that point I thought maybe it's gonna be over right here, but Walter was able to kick out for another near fall. And then we get a power bomb from the second rope as Pete Dunne attempted to put him in a triangle choke from the top. And he tried joint manipulation, but Walter wasn't going for it. Power bomb, and then he hits a top rope splash, better than Tamina, for the 1, 2, 3. Walter wins this match. Dude, you have to go with a decent grade for this. I gave it a grade of a B+. Nothing horrible here. Really good stuff. I enjoyed the match for what it was. I didn't mind the timing of it either, but I saw several other people mention that throughout the match. And yeah, it was good stuff. So then we transition back out to the crowd. And who do we see out in the crowd but none other than Edge and Buffalo's own Beth Phoenix. Good to see them in there. Beth Phoenix will be wrestling at WrestleMania, so very cool to see those guys at an NXT show. And it brings the prestige of the show up a little bit that wrestlers want to be there and hang out. It's the hottest brand in WWE, the best brand in my opinion. So very cool. We get to match number 4, guys. It's the NXT Women's Fatal 4-Way match. The champion, Shayna Baszler, is defending against Io Shirai, Kairi Sane, and Bianca Belair. Man, this was another match that I thought it was good. It was a really good match. This match starts with lots of pinfalls, people doing roll-ups, you know, the usual stuff for a fatal four-way. And then eventually we see kind of a square off with Io Shirai and Kairi Sane. And even in the beginning of them like doing the head scissors and them rolling out of it, these two have chemistry. And this is why they're a really good tag team. Absolutely love it. But it gets stopped early on because Shayna Baszler is the heel and she has to ruin everything that people enjoy. Next, Bianca Belair. I love the usage of her hair in this match. Now, at one point they're on the outside and Bianca Belair goes to whip somebody with the hair. I believe it was Shayna Baszler. She catches her hair and she tries to pull her into the post, but Bianca Belair blocks with her foot and then yanks her braid back and pulls Shayna Baszler into the post. Freaking sweet spot. Love it. Goober 316, I see you entering in here talking. What is going on? Kyron Chase says, I love how Kairi and Io looks sad. Yes, they look very sad at certain parts. I'm going to get to that, Kyron. So we get a Tower of Doom spot. I actually do not like these in matches. I think the Tower of Doom spots look horrible, and I think we're past these at this point. But they do one here with Shayna Baszler has Kairi Sane in like a gut wrench lock, and then Io and Kairi end up power bombing Shayna, and all four women are down. It gets a pop from the crowd. People like it. I'm just in the minority probably. So after that happens, we see a lot of good double team moves. Io Shirai and Kairi Sane, the Sky Pirates, they are absolutely tremendous with their double team moves, whether it's flipping someone to the outside and dropping elbows on two of the other competitors. It was really dope to see them use a lot of their tag team moves in this. We get to Baszler ending up getting put in the chicken wing spot, and Bianca Belair usually puts you in the chicken wing to drop you down on your face. She did it several times in this match, but Baszler ends up rolling out of it and putting her in the Karafuda clutch, and Bianca Belair ends up hanging in there, and she hangs in there and she's all right for now, but she hits the KOD on Baszler, but Io, she comes in and makes the save. And then we see Io Shirai hit the moonsault, but Kairi Sane then breaks it up. And this goes back to exactly what Kyron was just talking about. Kyron sits there and he's bringing up the fact that every single time that these women cost each other, they look so sad because they're friends, but this title meant so much to them. So they had this sad look on each other's face when they were breaking up the pinfalls for each other because the match at that point looked like it could be over. Now, when we're seeing all of that happen, guys, it gets real sad here because she hits the insane elbow from the top rope. Io breaks it up. And then we see a double KOD. I don't know if it's a play off J. Cole's album or if it's just the kiss of death, but Bianca Belair hitting the double KOD was that was the spot of this match. Flippin' amazing for her to do that on both Io and Kairi. Amazing. So afterwards, she gets the pinfall, but it gets broken up by Shayna Baszler, and she gets locked in the Karafuda clutch once again. She's sitting there. We think she might be able to get out. She's trying to fight it, but Baszler's got that bad boy locked in, and she has no choice but to tap out. Unbelievable. A shocking finish to a lot of people who were watching this NXT show. I was shocked. I don't know how you guys felt. Just what happened? Everyone thought that, we all thought that Shayna Baszler was losing her title here, but she ends up coming away with the championship, and she is then greeted on stage by her fellow four horsewomen, and Marina Shafir and Jessamine Duke are up there, and I just couldn't believe it. I was in shock the entire time. Overall grade for this match, a B. I thought it was well done, solid in-ring work, really good stuff. A lot of people are mad that Bianca Belair didn't win. I am too. I thought she was going to win this match, but I will say this. You know NXT always has a shocking ending to one of the matches, and I think that this was it right here. That was a shocker to see her remain the NXT champion. What does that mean going forward? I don't know. We could talk about that maybe at the end if you guys have questions and stuff like that. I'll answer a few of them. before we get out of here. So if you guys start thinking of some questions that are in your mind, let me know. Before we get to the main event, we got Jamie Todd in here, and that's someone who I usually do not see on the channel. So welcome, Jamie Todd. And make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel, and check out Brain Busta Radio. This will be on a podcast tomorrow, guys. So do me a favor, make sure you show some love and support to the Brain Busta Radio crew. We are trying to bring you podcasts on wrestling 7 days a week. With that being said, Jamie Todd says, we all know NXT beats the main roster once again. Let's just not even look at WrestleMania. We need 7 hours of NXT. We don't need 7 hours of any show, in my opinion, but I do love the NXT brand and what they bring, and they have perfect timing for stuff. Love it. Guys, let's get to this main event. This main event, for those watching live, look at how many notes I took. That's one page, and then that's the other half of the page. Lots of notes for this match. So this is going to be the meat and potatoes of this review right here. It is for the vacant NXT Championship. It will be a 2 out of 3 falls match with Johnny Gargano versus Adam Cole. First and foremost, we got to talk about Tommaso Ciampa when we're looking at all this. Tommaso Ciampa's storyline was so sad, guys. Like, the neck surgery, the Johnny Gargano losing out on this big match, Tommaso losing out on this big match, it just really hurt the overall feel of the show, but Triple H found a way to turn it around really quick and keep us invested and make this work still. So at this point, all of the championship belts have been retained by the previous holders. So what can we do at this point but be happy for this match, because we know we're going to get a new champion. Neither of these guys have been NXT champion, and the winner will be the first Triple Crown NXT champion technically. So let's get into it, guys. Also, I want to bring up this one last thing with Tommaso Ciampa. His video that they had up on the network, the whole video where he talks about his surgery and the complications with him and his wife having a baby, I completely sympathize with this man. After that, he, in my opinion, kind of turned into a babyface character. Like, how can you be upset with this guy after hearing that story? Tommaso Ciampa is tremendous. I wish him nothing but a speedy recovery, and I really want to see him get back in the ring and modify his style, maybe do something so that way you're not getting out and injured all the time. Tommaso Ciampa is somebody who could be a very big star if you play your cards right. He's already proven it. So I hope WWE really, really gives him the opportunity to be a star and modify his style. But let's get into this match. First and foremost, I got to give a shout out to Mauro Ranallo. He was tremendous all night. Mauro Ranallo is the best announcer in the WWE. I said it. I don't know if you guys disagree, but I think Mauro Ranallo is the man in WWE. He said, and I quote, "These guys have more game than ESPN." He quoted Nipsey Hussle. Rest in peace to the fallen rapper. Very cool. Mauro's always hip, and he makes NXT feel hip by being in the know of everything that's happening. So shout out to Mauro Ranallo. Next in my notes here, I have Johnny Gargano is rocking the Iron Man gear. Very cool to see that. He always has a play off of Marvel characters, and we've seen it with the Johnny Takeover trunks. He tells a story even with his attire. So very cool to see that with Johnny Gargano. Adam Cole is super over throughout this. Who doesn't love chatting Adam Cole, baby? Even no matter how much of a heel he is, Adam Cole's the man. And who doesn't love the Undisputed Era? I've got a shirt by them too. It doesn't matter. They're great. This match starts off with some back and forth wrestling. So much so, I can't even cover it. Like, really good stuff. Lots of near falls. We end up getting to the first pinfall. There was a last shot to the back of the head. 1, 2, 3. Adam Cole gets the first pinfall. Afterwards, Cole gets another last shot on Gargano immediately after, but it's only for a near fall. They had my heart jump at that spot. Like, I know they're not about to have Gargano lose 2 quick ones like that, but I should have known better. But, you know, you get caught up in the moment. And after that, we see Gargano hit an avalanche air raid crash for a kick out of a 2 count on Adam Cole. And then we get lots of teases for super kicks and signature moves. So basically, they're doing like the fake outs on the super kicks, like teasing like they're going to raise their legs, but they don't. And I like that in the match, showing that you've studied your opponent, the know-how, and bringing like a sports element into the pro wrestling realm. I like that. I like it a lot. So afterwards, Gargano shows that he is a true babyface. They're out on the floor, and they basically have a count, and it's about at 7, 8. Gargano gets in the ring. The ref counts 9, and Cole's barely moving to get up, but Gargano rolls right back out and shows he's got the babyface syndrome. You know, you can't just take the cheap way out. He ends up eating a push into the post for doing that. So, foolish babyface move, man. Sometimes just take the dub. I'm seeing people calling him Johnny Iron Man in there. I like it, guys. I like it. Gargano eventually gets the Gargano escape in, and Adam Cole taps out quickly. Now, the commentary team plays it off like he tapped quickly so that there wasn't further damage done because Cole knows that there's still another fall. I love this face-off that they have. And it's not like Nicolas Cage and John Travolta. It was classic pro wrestling. They announced that they're on the third fall. There's this big loud announcement. And these two are hanging onto the bottom rope looking at each other. Gargano's got blood on the side of his head. And they're looking at each other like, yeah, it's my time. It's my moment. I'm going to be champion. And I enjoyed all of this. It gets really good. So after the face-off for the third fall, we start seeing lots of counters. Great wrestling between these two. It really picked up for me once they did the double punch, double clothesline, double super kick to the back of the heads. Really good stuff right there. Both guys are down. The crowd is going nuts. They're chanting NXT. They are chanting both these guys. The fans were super into this. The reaction of the fans make this match so much better. Chat, I love it. I love you guys yelling Adam Cole, baby. I love it, guys. Now, while we're in here talking about this, Cole ends up hitting a super kick to the back of Gargano's head, and then he hits a straight jacket German suplex, shades to his days in Ring of Honor. He gets the pinfall for it. It is a kick out. Afterwards, we see Johnny Gargano hit a poison Rana on Adam Cole. Dude, another kick out. This was where the emotion gets high throughout. We saw a spike DDT, a slingshot DDT. 1, 2, kick out once again. These guys are kicking out of everything. And eventually we see the Panama Sunrise. And if you don't know what that is, Adam Cole's on the middle rope. He jumps down onto an opponent who is like kind of bent over, and he hits a flipping Canadian Destroyer on him. After that, dude, I swore it was done. But 1, 2, Gargano kicks out again. This is flipping crazy. Jesus De Leon chanting EPW in the chat. Thank you, my good sir. I appreciate you. Now, the fans are yelling, fight forever. You are caught up in this moment. You are physically drained. You are emotionally invested in this. Like, you don't want to cheer anymore, but you can't stop because this match is so good. Cole calls Gargano a failure. Gargano strikes back, and they get to the outside where Gargano begins to tear up the announcer's table, and he says, oh, it's happening right here. Cole ends up getting Gargano in the fairy tale ending and lands it on the table. The table does not break, and Johnny Gargano basically rolls to the floor. They do the table has no give at this point, and it's so true. Shout out to J3X Show, who said I'm the best Conrad in podcasting. I appreciate that, brother. So the fairy tale ending happens on Johnny Gargano, and we get the tease 10 count, and Gargano gets back in at like 9.8 seconds. He gets back in the ring. It's classic. Right at this point, the Undisputed Era starts to come out. We see Roderick Strong get up and start to interfere right when Gargano puts Cole in the Gargano escape. He's tapping, but the ref doesn't see it because he's over there dealing with Roderick Strong. Gargano goes to knock him. Then he puts it right back on Adam Cole, which then leads to another distraction, and then here come Fish and O'Reilly. O'Reilly's raking at Gargano's face. Johnny Gargano can't catch a freaking break in this match. The crowd is getting pissed. They're booing. They're like, damn, the Undisputed Era is ruining this match. And then a ref bump happens. The classic heart dropper moment for any wrestling fan. Like, oh, here comes some BS. Cole pushes Gargano into the ref. He goes to the floor. Bobby Fish and Kyle O'Reilly come in while Roderick Strong directs traffic. They end up hitting like a total elimination move, and he is down. We get a pinfall by Cole because Roderick Strong's right there to get the ref back in. 1, 2, 3, kick out by Johnny Gargano. He kicks out once again, dude. And then after that, Johnny Gargano gets to the outside. He starts whipping ass and taking names. He's taking out everybody from the Undisputed Era. There is no more Roderick Strong, no more Bobby Fish, and there's no more Kyle O'Reilly. It's down to these two. He uses all of them. They're knocked out. They're taken out. Classic superhero story right here, especially if you love the Marvel films. It's one-on-one. It's the good guy versus the bad guy. The babyface versus the heel. Classic stuff right here. And we get more NXT chants. We get all of this stuff. So it ends up happening to where we see a super kick and another last shot. We think it's got to be through here, right? 1, 2, Gargano kicks out again. And there's NXT chants. Cole ends up grabbing Gargano by his face. He says, look, it's my time. This is it for you. Talks a lot of crap to him. He goes for the last shot. He misses the last shot. And Johnny Gargano ends up getting him down in the Gargano escape once again. But his boys are all down. They're knocked out. There's no one to help him. And Cole is fighting his way towards the ropes. He is going towards the ropes. And as he reaches, Johnny Gargano rolls through a la Chris Benoit WrestleMania 20 style. And I love that finish. He brings him back to the middle of the ring. And he starts to wrench on that submission hold on Adam Cole. And Cole has no choice but to finally tap out, and we have our first NXT Triple Crown winner. And I predicted Adam Cole to win this, but you know what? I couldn't be more happy that I was wrong. Johnny Gargano is one of my favorites, and he absolutely deserves this title reign. He has busted his ass and worked so hard for this finish. I love this finish. It doesn't matter, man. It's a great ending. They really did some good stuff right here. I couldn't be happier. Like Kyron said, it was very emotional. If you've been absolutely in this, how many stars would I rate it? Export wants to know. Export, thank you for the question, good sir. I actually don't do star ratings. I give grades out. If you look in the description box, and each of my grades means something. And this match got an A+. So 5 stars, basically, if you want to translate that. Kyron agrees as well. He said 5 stars. I'm with it, guys. Whoa, Connor says he cried after this match. Tears of happiness. I appreciate that. I was super happy. I did not cry, but I was very happy for Johnny Gargano. It was a very cool moment, guys. And I think that Morrow said it best at the end when he said, you know, good guys don't always finish last. And I know that a lot of wrestling fans, you can have that problem, whether it's with school, the real world. You can make this relate in some way, especially if you're a nice guy and you always feel like you finish last. This gives you the hope in this storytelling of this match that nice guys don't always finish last. And Johnny Gargano is the new NXT champion. His wife comes out to celebrate with him. Candice LeRae is out there. And before the show gets ready to fade, they're up at the top of the ramp celebrating. They celebrated in the crowd, and at the top of the ramp, they have their arms up. And while they're up there, Tommaso Ciampa walks out right behind them in a neck brace. Tommaso Ciampa walks out, but he doesn't do anything but embrace Johnny Gargano. It was kind of like a reuniting of DIY for the good reasons. I don't know. Robert Anderson's in the chat asking, do you think Tommaso Ciampa's done? I don't know. None of us know at this point. I hope he's not. But I really don't want him to be done. it was a sad moment, man. This is where it started tugging at the heartstrings a little bit. Tommaso comes out and he embraces them. He raises both of their arms with him in the middle. It's a great feel-good moment, and what a way to go off of NXT. Now, guys, we've been doing the grades throughout the entire show. I'm going to ask you guys a question in the chat. What is your grade for this show? I would be very interested to hear it. I had another question in here before. Is this the best NXT match of all time? You know what? I'm going to say it isn't, in my opinion. I still think that match may have to be Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa from NXT New Orleans. For me personally, I thought that there was more of a story behind it. But was this a great wrestling match? Yes, absolutely. I give it an A. And that is the exact score we are going with, guys. An A. So I have this as a tremendous show. Definitely one you need to go back and check out. If you missed NXT Takeover New York, you're missing out, guys. Go back and watch this. The NXT Takeover shows are well worth the network price alone, besides getting to go back and watch some of the classic matches. But before we get out of here, let's take some questions from the live chat and see what anybody else has to say here. Connor says, just knowing what this story has gone through, it's really great to see it all pay off. Yeah, I really wish we could have got the proper ending to it, Connor, but that's what happens. Who is Gargano going to feud with next? I think you pick up once again with Adam Cole, potentially. That's a good question. You can go many different ways with this at this point. I'm going to say it's Adam Cole right now, in my opinion. Let's see here. Fatal 4-way match was missing something and got in the first half of the main event was so bad, but the rest was stellar. I mean, Austin, you got to start off the match slow. I don't think that you can't get right into it and have people going crazy. Which TV deal do you think AEW got? I saw that announced during the show. I'm going to go with a Turner Sports Network. We'll say TBS or TNT. Just my opinion. Didn't Johnny attack Ciampa 3 weeks ago? Yes, he did. Yes, he did. But then they announced his neck surgery and everything else. That was already recorded before all this stuff happened, though, Y2K. Ooh, White or Okada? I have Jay White retaining the title, Jesus. I have that. And I will be doing a review of that show as well tomorrow here on YouTube. So make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. If you are in here, make sure you have clicked that like button. It helps more people see the video, and it really helps out everything else. Also, if you guys are on your phone watching this, when this video ends, make sure you guys check out my podcast, but also make sure you put in Brainbuster Radio. That's where you will hear this exclusive content for this network. I will have exclusive podcasts up on there, and there's a tremendous group of people behind it. Shout out to the whole Brainbuster crew. I appreciate each and every one of you. Guys, this review has went on for 43 minutes. I love it. Is EPW the best wrestling podcast out? And the survey says yes. Thanks, J3X. I appreciate you, Peyton. You guys are the best fans out there. I truly mean that. Wrestling fans are the greatest. I love how we can all unite to talk about wrestling and bring it up to these feel-good moments. But like I said, you guys, we've talked enough. We're going to be back again tomorrow. I'm going to have videos like every single day up until probably like Tuesday. So let's get it in, guys. It's wrestling. This is a wrestling fans week. Let's enjoy ourselves. Let's have fun and enjoy the ride with each other. And to everybody that's in the chat, I am writing this right now. That is a big thank you. And we are going to put hashtag Brainbuster with an A radio. I appreciate it. Oh, EPW, EPW, EPW. Thank you guys so much. You guys are the best. Let's get out of here, though. And once again, check me out tomorrow for the G1 Supercard review here on YouTube. We are out. Peace.